Welcome to The Explainer. You ever look at a company and wonder, how did they go from just being fine to being truly, lastingly great? Well, today we are diving deep into Jim Collins' massive research project, Good to Great, to figure out the surprising secrets that separate the best from the rest.
The whole thing kicks off with this really powerful, kind of counterintuitive idea. See, it's not some huge disaster that holds most people or companies back. It's just being good. When you settle for good enough, you're building the single biggest wall between you and real sustainable greatness.
So, to get the real answer, a whole research team spent years, literally years, digging into companies that made this incredible leap. They wanted to look inside what they called the black box of success to see what actually makes a company jump from just good results to truly great, long-lasting results.
And after more than 15,000 hours of research, this clear, 5-part framework emerged. We're going to walk through it step by step, starting with the big question, then talking disciplined people, disciplined thought, disciplined action, and wrapping it all up with something called the flywheel effect.
The question that drove this entire study was actually pretty simple, but it's also incredibly profound. Could a totally average, run-of-the-mill company really make the leap to greatness? And if it could, were there universal principles they all followed?
So where do you even start on a journey like this? You might think it's a bold new strategy, right? Or some groundbreaking technology. But nope. Turns out it all begins with people.
And here's the first huge surprise they found, and it was about leadership. The great companies weren't run by these flashy celebrity CEOs you see on magazine covers. They were led by these quiet, humble, but unbelievably determined people that Collins calls Level 5 leaders.
And this difference is everything. Level 5 leaders have what Collins calls a window and mirror mentality. When things are going great, they point out the window to give all the credit to their team. But when things go wrong, they look right in the mirror and take full responsibility. Think of Alan Wurtzel from Circuit City. He was this humble plow horse who built something that lasted, not some celebrity genius building a stage for himself.
This bus metaphor just nails their whole approach. Level 5 leaders were obsessed with getting the right people on the bus, and just as importantly, the wrong people off the bus. They believe that if you start with who before you figure out what, you can handle anything the world throws at you. With the right team, you'll figure out where to drive that bus together.
Okay, so you've got the right people on the bus. That's just the beginning. The next piece of the puzzle is all about how those people think. The great companies built this culture of disciplined thought, and it all starts with facing reality, no matter how ugly it is.
This idea is just so powerful. It's named after Admiral Jim Stockdale, who was a prisoner of war in Vietnam for over 7 years. It's this total paradox, right? You have to have absolute, unwavering faith that you will win in the end, while at the same time staring the most brutal, awful facts of your current reality right in the face. Stockdale said it was the pure optimists, the guys who kept saying, "Oh, we'll be out by Christmas," who didn't survive. They died of a broken heart. The ones who made it were the ones who balanced that faith with a cold, hard dose of reality. Okay, so if you're confronting all these brutal facts, how in the world do you cut through all that noise and complexity to find a simple, clear path forward?
The answer they found is what they call the Hedgehog Concept. Every single great company found this incredible clarity right at the intersection of 3 simple circles. What can we be the absolute best in the world at? What drives our economic engine? And what are we deeply, truly passionate about? It's not just a strategy. It's like this profound, simple truth about who you are.
And that laser focus makes all the difference. Get this, while Walgreens was doubling down on its simple hedgehog idea, be the most convenient drugstore, its rival Eckerd was frantically trying to get into all sorts of other businesses. Walgreens thrived. Eckerd, well, it eventually failed and got bought out.
So, you've got the right people, you've got the right ideas, but that's still not enough. The next piece of this whole puzzle is taking disciplined action, not just once, but day in and day out.
Now, this isn't about being rigid and bureaucratic, just the opposite. It's about building a framework where you have freedom and responsibility, and disciplined people can really thrive. It means being absolutely fanatical about your hedgehog concept and, this is huge, having a stop-doing list so you can say no to all the other shiny objects and distractions that pull you off course. And that disciplined approach even applied to technology. The good to great companies never ever thought technology was the reason for their success. For them, technology was just an accelerator. It helped them push forward faster in the direction they were already headed. And that brings us to the final,
big idea that really ties all of this together into one single powerful image: the flywheel.
See that big transformation from good to great? It doesn't happen in one big moment. There's no single magical event. From the inside, it feels like you're pushing a giant, heavy flywheel. That first push, it barely moves. But you keep pushing with consistent, disciplined effort. And slowly, turn by turn, it starts to build momentum.
And every single thing we've talked about is another deliberate push on that wheel. Getting those level 5 leaders, that's a push. First who, then what, another push. Confronting the brutal facts, push. Finding your hedgehog concept, push. It's that relentless, cumulative effect that eventually, finally, leads to a breakthrough.
Now the other companies, the ones that stayed just good, they were stuck in what Collins calls the doom loop. They were always lurching from one new program to the next, frantically changing direction, hiring a new savior CEO, always looking for that one miracle fix that, of course, never came. They were just destroying any momentum they had.
And in the end, this whole framework really makes us look in the mirror. And this isn't just for huge companies. It applies to any team, any project, even our own lives. So you have to ask yourself, is what you're doing today another consistent, disciplined push on your flywheel? Or are you just spinning in a doom loop, jumping from one new thing to the next, wasting all that energy and getting absolutely nowhere?